Hey YouTube. So I know I've done a couple of these before, but this time I gotta give you an updated version because I just bought a new one. As usual, the complete SpongeBob collection that I've spent a long time collecting and now just re-completed with the latest version, Season 14. I'll get to those individually in a minute, but yeah, I thought this time I go through each and every SpongeBob DVD, tell you about what I love about them, hate about them, and everything. So I got the movies, all 14 seasons, and the spin-offs, which, again, aren't arguably bad, just, definitely not as good as the original. So let's get to them. So here it is, the entirety. Pilot seasons 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Both the original and new SpongeBob movie, Sponge on the Run, Camp Corals, Volumes 1 and 2, Patrick Star 1 and 2, everything. So let's start off at the beginning, shall we? The pilot and mini-movie. I got this about 3 years ago. It contains the very first pilot of SpongeBob, which, oddly enough, Season 1 didn't include. Shame on you. And it contained a lot of the mini-movies. I'm sure some of you guys know, like, now, for our SpongeBob mini, where it, had SpongeBob baking a pie with Patrick, or SpongeBob filling balloons, Gary being alone, and throwing a party. But, the pilot was just so good in the fact that, it wasn't really, the first SpongeBob I saw, but, it was one of the original SpongeBob I saw as a little kid, too, and just that song, Things That Bother You Never Bother Me, that everyone knows that about that episode, and the anchovies, mate. So that was always a great one. Season 1, oh boy. I'm sure all of you guys know, well, not all of you guys, I mean, those of you who've bought the original first season, when it was in that own big box set, I'm sure you know about the whole, opening thing that the DVD had, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And whatnot, but oh man, a lot of these were just the original episodes that me and my brother would love, and just watching the thing. Oh my gosh, I gotta see this episode. The episode where Mr. Krabs does the whole pirate thing. Do you think this is a problem? Texas, that one always made me think of my mom. The Suds at SB129, or oh man, just a lot of these episodes I think you all know, but then. Man, honestly, I don't think I have a favorite of this. All of them were just equally great and whatnot, and came with a few special features. And next up, Season 2. This was one of the two favorite SpongeBobs of all time. 1, 2, and 3 were my favorite. Just these had all the best and just most, I think, meme-worthy episodes. I mean, Survival of the Idiots, the SpongeBob Christmas episode, the smoking peanut with Patrick. I can almost taste it. Oh man, the Fry Good Games, Jellyfish, oh my goodness, and Sailor Mouth. That was the episode that got me in so much trouble as a kid. I would just do the dolphin noises, or however, you do that. And I get so much in trouble because my mom said, stop doing that. Or I would just laugh uncontrollably because thinking of SpongeBob swearing was so hilarious to me. or dying for pie. Wormy, Patty Hype, all these great episodes. And honestly, this had one, before one of the ones I think you know about from season 5 or 4. This actually had also one of the only SpongeBob episodes that made me cry as a kid. Welcome to the Chum Bucket episode. I don't know why, but just seeing SpongeBob separated from the Krusty Krab and Mr. Krabs that was the first emotional time I ever had with SpongeBob. So, and again, this is a season that was really close to my heart. Not to mention Christmas Who, the quintessential SpongeBob Christmas special that none of these could ever compare to. I mean, tell me more about this Christmas. I'd repeat that every year with my brother. Season 3, oh my goodness. This was the first SpongeBob DVD besides Season 1 and 2 that my dad ever got for us specifically, because we got it from the library, and then my dad did some just honestly, this is a long time ago, so we just did some stuff with, downloaded a copy. That was the thing back then. It was only the first disc, but it had so many episodes and so many of the great ones. I mean, Clams, SpongeBob BC, Crabborg, Krabby Land. Crabboard was honestly one of my favorites of this season, as well as SpongeBob BC. I mean, SpongeBob BC, everyone knows that rap, the rap of it, from when worlds collide, you'll laugh so hard, you'll swear you die. Oh my goodness, no weenies allowed. Idiot box, everybody knows that one. Oh my goodness, pranks a lot. We should have bought the whoopee cushion. Yeah, that's definitely a great one. Season 4, this is when SpongeBob started getting a little more modern. Like, I remember when these episodes actually came out as a kid. Like, The Fear of the Krabby Patty, like, that one was, like, came out when I was a little. Shell of a Man, Lost Mattress. Oh my goodness, Lost Mattress came in a box set that's the Where's Gary special came in when it was just the special. Oh man, and a bunch of the other classics like the Gummy episode and Gift of Gum, the best day ever. We all know that from the original SpongeBob movie. Like this season came out just a little bit after the original. Oh man, the episode where Mr. Krabs gets Plankton for a father-in-law. When Plankton gets smart, Mrs. Puff gets fired. When SpongeBob gets that wig, everything this is just hilarious. Or the episode where SpongeBob thinks he loses his laugh box, and then Plankton gets it. Or then Squidward gets his laugh, and oh my goodness, Dungeons and Dragons, like one of the best specials I saw as a young older kid. And season 5, another arguably good bad season. Like it was in the same ballpark as season 4, but definitely had a lot of like the weirder episodes and whatnot. Like, oh man, like ones that I remember watching as a kid. Like these are the episodes that would come on right before I would go back to church, got to school. Like Blackjack, like Cousins Blackjack, Pest of the West. Or Goo Goo Gas, Oh my goodness, Spongehenge was a little bit creepy at the end because that's when I realized it was like a ripoff of Planet of the Apes and whatnot. Oh my goodness, and Pest of the West. Me and my brother, we remember when that special came out, and I don't know if any of you are old enough or would remember that, but when Pest of the West came out, me and my brother would always sing the little jingle. They would do Pest of the West, Pest of the West, Pest of the West. New digs, crabs a la mode when Plankton freezes the Krusty Krab. Love of the Patty, when SpongeBob falls in love with a freaking Krabby Patty. Like, it wasn't just like, love like he loved his art. Like, he freaking wanted to marry a Krabby Patty. Money Talks. Oh, another one of my favorite, when Mr. Krabs talks to Money with the help of the Flying Dutchman. Or whichever one, I forget the name of it right now. But I know it's in here, the one where SpongeBob and Patrick argue over Dirty and Clean. The Battle of the Bikini Bottom. When they argue over Dirty and Clean, SpongeBob makes Patrick clean, and Patrick makes SpongeBob dirty. Oh man, that armpit. Ugh. I still got nightmares about that one. Season 6. This is one that I also got as a kid. Just the one of the random DVDs we asked for, and looking back, like these were definitely the weirder yet still entertaining ones. Like there's the Viking one, Spongicus was my favorite out of this. Like I'm sure everyone knows the torturistic House Fancy one where Squidward has his nail ripped off. Ugh. SpongeBob versus the Big. I had a DVD of that one right there. SpongeBob versus the Big One. That was a favorite of mine because it had Johnny Depp, giant Squidward. The one where SpongeBob and Patrick make Squidward giant with Miracle Grow that Squidward bought. Goodness. Overbook. No hat for when Patrick wants the Krusty Krab hat but keeps falling over because of it. Clash of Triton. That was a good one with where we finally see King Neptune's son, who mysteriously disappeared. I mean, why does he have a son and then in the movie he had a daughter, right? Man. And now that we're about almost halfway through, I thought I'd at least get to the movie now. This one was a Christmas gift I got a couple of years back. It had both the original and the Sponge Out of Water one. Both I saw in theaters. I don't know if I saw this one in the theater, but I definitely saw Sponge Out of Water in theaters. And I was at least happy that it was somewhat in 2D. But then, oh my goodness, everybody will agree the original is better in every possible way. The music, the drama. My goodness, well, Ocean Man at the end, like everybody will remember Ocean Man because of this movie. Pure nostalgia. I mean, it was okay, but just in a modern way. Like I feel like my young niece and nephew would appreciate it better. But SpongeBob movie, everybody who was young enough to remember it will know that this is like a childhood movie franchise right there. Yeah. Put this right here. And then, of course, the Sponge on the Run movie, the third movie they ever made, but it never released in theaters because of some kind of thing going. I don't know. I don't remember the full story of it, but like I remember this was meant to come out in theaters, but it just never did. And so I had to wait a long time to even see if I could buy it online, which I did. Saw it there, and it was all right. I mean, definitely had a lot more stars than even those movies had, but I mean, what didn't? And it was pretty cool that this was the movie that would inspire the Camp Coral episodes, because this was the movie where they showed that SpongeBob met Gary in camp and then showed like how he met him there and whatnot. So yeah, another okay movie. Now back to the seasons. Season 7, this was definitely the very interesting one. I mean, it had a whole lot of SpongeBob episodes and specials that I remember very vividly as a kid. Oh, the episodes are going to be inside of the thing this time. And every SpongeBob DVD looks like this gray with a silver sheen from the disc, and which seasons they are, and then it shows you which ones the discs have, like the older ones. So man, the greasy buffoons when Mr. Krabs and Plankton serve basically grease to everybody. I mean, isn't that America these days? Summer job when Mrs. Puff has to work at the Krusty Krab. When Gary falls in love with a snail named Mary, but then ends up getting strung up there. Like, oh man, the Legends of Bikini Bottom, like all of those were the SpongeBob specials that I always look for, like when they came out. I remember when they came out, and they made this whole big spiel, like these are the storybook episodes, like the Ming Drain, the Trince-Billies, the Bikini Bottom Triangle. Oh, the Great Patty Caper, that was one of the better ones that I saw. I used to see this when I used to live in Texas all the time. I would play it over and over again because of how ridiculous and hilarious it is. They had a freaking Wolfman in there, underwater. The Earman, the Abrasive Side. The Krusty Dogs, which were basically hamburger hot dogs. I don't know how people could think that looks good, but it did. The Tunnel of Glove. When people kept thinking that SpongeBob and Pearl were dating. Oh man, when Squidward finally fell in love, and Big Sister Sam, and the Welks. Oh my goodness. All of them great episodes. Now, this is a season I wasn't too familiar with. Season 8. I mean, it had like a few good episodes, like Bubble Bunny's son, the giant Krabby Patty, and the episode where SpongeBob and Patrick make so many faces that it just sticks that way. Oh, the specials where SpongeBob, Sandy, Patrick, Plankton, Mr. Krabs all tell slideshows of their vacations. Plankton getting 2 eyes, but one of them ends up being SpongeBob's eye. Man, these are good episodes, but I mean, honestly, it feels like just the episodes that, no one really... Oh, SpongeBob Christmas, the second SpongeBob special that had the very first stop-motion animation of SpongeBob, so that was good. That was all right. Chum Fricassee, where Plankton teams up with Plankton and makes Chum edible. It's a weird one. Man, Karen 2.0, the Glove World Rip, Face Freeze. Oh, no, Frozen Face. That was something else. The Face Freeze episode is the one where they freeze their faces. But yeah, like these, honestly, I could take them or leave them, really. Season 9, oh my goodness. This is when SpongeBob, I feel like this is when, for a lot of people, SpongeBob took like a turn for the worse, because this is the season when SpongeBob went from his like usual design to that whole goofy, like squiggly pipe cleaner arm looking. I don't know how to describe it. Like, this is when SpongeBob just went blah, and this is when it went to that episode, the Pods versus the Sharks, I believe. Yep, Sharks versus Pods. That's like, it went for the transition from the normal, typical SpongeBob that seasons 1 through 8 had to basically the weirder SpongeBob. Yes. I mean, I honestly could take these or leave it. I mean, like, some of them are even too weird to remember. Like, Squid Plus One. That was the episode when Squidward just couldn't find a plus one and ended up taking a mirror with himself. Plankton's pet. This is when Plankton gets his pet Spot. That would be later on in the later seasons a lot more often. Oh, man. Safe deposit crime. Mr. Krabs locks himself in a safe, and then SpongeBob and Patrick try to break him out, but then both getting kicked out of the bank. Man, this also had that episode. I just remember this also had that episode, Squid Baby, when Squidward hits his head and turns into a baby. License to Milkshake was actually one of the better ones I remember. Oh, and Extreme Spots, when the very first episode Johnny Knoxville was ever in. Gary's New Toy, where he gets the ball. Okay, there were admittedly some... Ooh, Eek and Urchin, the very first time an urchin was like looking normal on SpongeBob, not just like a black dot with some lines. Yeah, honestly, these were also okay episodes. It's just, this is when SpongeBob just looked like weird. Oh man, Food Cotton Castaways. I'm sure you remember that one, Sean. Everybody pipe down! Yeah, it was, I don't know. Season 10, I wanted this one just for this is, honestly, these SpongeBobs admittingly had good episodes, but for the most part, I just got them just so I can, complete the collection and whatnot. Season 10 was also a regularly short one, just some of the other weirder SpongeBob episodes, like the Whirly Brains, the episode, for some reason, that sports episode, really kind of made me a little mad, honestly, because SpongeBob and Patrick were acting so dumb, not knowing what any sports were, yet we literally see them play stuff like hockey, shuffleboard, baseball, football, and yet they don't know what a frickin' football is and think that it's like playing hockey. Ugh. Life insurance, this is something you probably remember where they're trying to hurt themselves and Squidward tries to get hurt, but he doesn't. And Mr. Krabs explains life insurance is the money a beneficiary gets when they die, and then Squidward gets beaten up to a pulp. Mimic Madness, where SpongeBob mimics, so it's basically Tom Kenny trying to sound like Bill Feuerbacher, Roger Bumpus, Clancy Brown. That's actually a good one. Mimic Madness, if anyone wants to see that one. That honestly is one I would try. Patrick's Coupon. That's an episode where Patrick's trying to go to Goofy Goober to get SpongeBob a cone with a free ice cream coupon, but the coupon's expired, so Patrick has to go to the Ice Cream King, which is just a starfish that looks like Patrick, but fatter and wartier. Ugh, serious. Ugh, honestly, that's a very little bit disturbing episode to see a fatter, weirder Patrick. Ugh. Season 11, this actually was one of the... I gotta pick up that up in a minute. This was a weirder episode in that this is the episode where I just wanted this one more because it had Doodle. This is when they brought Doodle Bob back, and so it was called the Doodle Dimension, where they bring him back, and just like a few other weird ones, like Man Ray returning to live at Squidward's Airbnb, where SpongeBob becomes a clan whisperer. The Legend of Bikini Bottom. This was the second CGI SpongeBob special, but it was for Halloween instead of Christmas. The Doodle Dimension, like I said, where they come back, but this time it's Patrick and SpongeBob and Patrick dealing with Doodle Bob, and they're just using a lot of real sounds. When Bubble Bass moves out of his mom's house into his grandma's house, they trick SpongeBob and Patrick, who ends up destroying his stuff, and they don't even get anything out of it when Bubble Bass offered them a free lunch. Plankton Paranoia. Yeah, a lot of this were just honestly Doodle Dimension, and one of those two were okay. Oh, Spot, like when Spot has amoeba children. Yeah, Chatterbox Hero. When Gary gets a voice box and talks like, who was that person that played King Andreas and Amphibia? I don't know his name. He played Spawn. You guys would know. Pardon me. A little easy. Yeah, I gotta pick that up in just a second. Season 12, another one I just got for the sake of getting. Very not really memorable episodes. I mean, Pineapple RV, when SpongeBob turns his pineapple into an RV so Squidward can see a flower bloom. Karen's Baby. That one was actually a nice one where Plankton and Karen adopt a calculator as a calculator baby who then grows up to be an ATM. Sandy's Nieces, where they gave Sandy a sister and she had nieces, but then that sister's literally never seen again, even though we see other Sandy sisters. The Dirty Bubble returns as a clean bubble, but it was somewhere around season 9, I believe, season 8, season 9, when Mermaid and Barnacle Boys actor Ernest Borgnine and Tim Conway passed away. So seeing anything with Man Ray or the Dirty Bubble really just didn't seem right. I remember SpongeBob's Birthday Blowout. A lot of you might remember that, when SpongeBob and Patrick go to the surface and meet a lot of famous stars returning. Like, we see the entire SpongeBob cast doing their whole bit doing the whole SpongeBob bit live action. Tom Kenny doing the whole, fry cooking thing, and Patchy the Pirate. And of course, the episode where, and of course, we also see David Hasselhoff returning. Of course, not as heroic and good looking as he was back in the day. Oh, man, SpongeBob in Random Land, that was a weird one where we see Mr. Krabs' human form again as a guy named Roger. Man, Cabin in the Kelp, where the Gal Pals, again, that was another thing in there. Gal Pals, where a bunch of the ladies of SpongeBob meet up, including Sandy and Mrs. Puff finally meeting. They all meeting up in a cabin where we see another female bikini bottomite that we'd never seen before. Again, a lot of weird SpongeBobs. Sorry. Season 13, the one I got last year, I did a special on that. This is one where they had like all the episodes from the title zone and whatnot, and we saw that it was just basically a weird SpongeBob special with images from the Patrick Show and whatnot. Arbor Day, Disarray, Ma and Pa. Honestly, I'm not even going to bother. I mean, some of you might, Dopey Dick, Plankton, the Beanstalk, some of you might remember a few of these episodes if you've seen the modern SpongeBob, like ones that came out last year-ish, but honestly, again, take them or leave them. They were okay. And now, the one I just recently got, and now I got to pick up, Season 14. I just finished this yesterday. Actually, I actually picked this up 2 days ago from Amazon, and I ordered one-day delivery, and I saw the first disc in one day, and then I spent the last half of the afternoon yesterday watching the last of it. And seriously, I had like a bunch of the other another few weirder SpongeBobs where they're just in random things, like Mr. Krabs stealing Larry the Lobster's shell, switching sides, Plankton going 2,000 years in the future. This season came out when Camp Coral officially ended, so they had basically a wrap-up episode of like all the characters meeting up 2D-ish and whatnot. And they also had one there called Sandy's Nutty Christmas, where it literally just had like it was in the same stop-motion animation as the two SpongeBob specials, but it had Sandy's family from the Plankton movie, which I didn't get because the Sandy movie, but like it hasn't been on DVD yet, so I don't have it yet. And all of them just in stop-motion animation meeting up with Sandy. Honestly, like we all know how bad that Sandy movie was, so that episode was... It felt like the SpongeBob, like, it's a SpongeBob Christmas, the original stop-motion thing, but with Sandy's new family from the newer movie. Honestly, but hey, again, I was just getting it to the point because, again, it was somewhat entertaining like SpongeBob is, and again, completed the whole collection there. And of course, we got Camp Coral's, like the first 2 volumes, and Camp Coral just ended, and there are more episodes after this one that I saw on Paramount, but it hasn't released yet, so I'll keep an eye out for that just so I can complete the collection. But Camp Coral, like I mentioned before, and like in my older videos, they were entertaining. I mean, they were all right. Just meh. So I went with that, and I mean, they had a lot of great actors. I mean, they had Grey Griffin. They had what's his name? Gilbert Gottfried. They had Gilbert Gottfried before he passed away, and that one actor, I can't remember actors today right now. The actor who talks like this. I forget his name. I'm sorry. I just made myself feel awkward right now. The Patrick Star Show, another SpongeBob spinoff that was 2D, but just, it came out in like the later 12-ish, 12th, 13th season. So, like, this is when, they were just giving Patrick a new show, gave him a new sister, a new mom and dad, and the freaking voice of Gazpacho and Scratch from Ghost of Molly McGee, that was the actor. I forget his name right now. I know these actors. I'm not just saying gobbledygook. I know these actors' names. I just don't remember them right now on the top of my head. They have them as Patrick's grandpa, SpongeBob with a cowlick, and a new sister, Squidina, as well as a pet urchin that was from the Eek Urchin episode I just mentioned before, and whatnot. And then volume 2, they did a little more like reminiscence of Camp Coral. Honestly, I think like this is, again, just a weirder one. Oh, they also had Cree Summer as Squidward's grandma. A weird one, since like Cree Summer was never in SpongeBob before, so. But yeah, that's my entire collection of SpongeBob that I have, and currently right now, this is everything that's available on DVD until like the more movies, and like the current 15th season is still on the air, so odds are by January, like it was for this year, it'll be there. But I'll say this actually was available since January, but on Amazon, it was like $16 plus shipping. So I decided to wait a little while, and sure enough, it paid off. And even though it didn't show up in the stores, it was very much cheaper on Amazon because I used a temporary Prime membership to get free shipping, and they already were reducing the price just in general. So what was going to be $20, which was $16 plus shipping, now was $10.39 with no shipping, and I got it in one day. So honestly, like, that's the biggest takeaway I'm getting from this movie this season. So yeah, that's the entirety of the SpongeBob collection currently available on DVD. So yeah, pick your guys up a copy, and these movies are forever going to be an integral part of my childhood. Everything that I ever watched as a kid, and then try to imitate with my videos, with my overall life. This was just a big, huge portion of my childhood that I just loved with my brother. I would always see a lot of the earlier ones with my brother that we still to this day repeat a lot of the same lines, especially from like the funnier episodes, like with the skill crane or the Sailor Mouse episode. But yeah, like SpongeBob was just the biggest hitter. There will never be another show like it for people of my generation. I was born in 2001, and even like my sister, who was born in 94, knows that this show was almost everything to us. So yeah, this is Playmaker showing you my entire SpongeBob collection. Have an awesome day.